So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's really a wonderful opportunity to have students representing different schools today as a panelist for our ABEA Masterclass. You know, all of us have been listening to the teachers, to educators, as well as people and in different fields experiences on this lockdown about the COVID problem and all. I don't think hearing much the students' body exactly what they feel and how are they coping up with it. Just to know them, students from different parts of the country. We have Akshali from Step High School, Aurangabad. We have Disha for RMPS School, Ankleshwar. We have Srinidhi from CS Academy, Coimbatore. We have Anshula from St. Patrick's Secondary School, Asansol. Anushcka from Assam Valley School, Tezpur. We have Yash from Jain. We have Anush from Aditya World Academy, Mumbai, and Nikunj from Legacy School, Bangalore. Let's all hear from them what they feel about the pre-present, post-COVID learning scenarios, challenges, and way forward. The panel discussion is being moderated who is very passionate educator over 3 decades in the education field. I won't take much of your time. I would request you to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pradipta sir. Namaskar, namaste, good evening, salam alaikum, kushamdeen. I have taken quite a few interactive sessions all over, but I am much more nervous than anyone else here because we have youngsters, 8 of them from various parts of India and abroad, who are born into the 21st century, who will live into the 22nd, while we, born in the 20th, living into the 21st, claim to know solutions to the future of the world better than what they know. So I am nervous. Equally, I am excited. These are wonderful voices, mature beyond their age, and having a passion and energy which would be hard to match, even in these difficult, uncertain times, as we call them. Yes, we'll start off very quickly without wasting any time whatsoever. The first question is the big picture, the pre, present, and post-COVID scenario for learning. Anshula from St. Patrick's, Asansol, what are your thoughts? What is the big picture coming out from the topic which has been made available to you? Anshula, please.
A very hearty good evening to everyone present here. My name is Anshula and I'm from St. Patrick's School, Asansol. This whole COVID-19 pandemic has been pretty very sudden, and this change has been forced upon us. So with every change in our environment, we are bound to change. And it's been weird staying at home for so long and not leaving the house. But at the same time, I have to adapt to the environment. Thank you.
Great. The word weird is something which I hear very often with the millennial and the post-millennial generation. Anushka from Assam Valley, do you agree with Anshula? You also feel weird? What are your thoughts?
Yes, sir, I agree with Anshula. This is weird, uncertain time for all of us. As you said, uncertain. Yeah, we do not know what will happen the next day, and this disease has proven to be as unpredictable as ever as well. So COVID-19 as of now, it's the most challenging biomedical condition that has hit Earth in the recent times. And along with it affecting all aspects of life and economy and uh, economy across the world, it is also affect the education world, has given it a big hit. So yes, I do agree with Anshula that it being weird is that it is weird, and that yes, so to cope up with this weirdness, we have to come up with new solutions.
Come up with new solutions. Great. Now we come to, we had Anshula and Anushka speaking. We go to Akshali from Aurangabad, the western part of India. Do you agree with your fellow panelists? It's weird, as they call them, uncertain. What are the signs you get? Times pre-COVID was better. You expect post-COVID to be better. Akshali.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to everyone present. I definitely agree with my fellow panelists. I wouldn't use the word weird because you said it's very millennial, and that's true. But I think what they're trying to convey is that it's an unprecedented event. A global pandemic in the 21st century has all of us baffled in a state of panic. It's definitely weird. But in terms of comparing post-COVID and pre-COVID scenarios, definitely pre-COVID was better. But going forward, I believe there are scenarios. There's either delayed recovery or there's prolonged contraction. And nothing can be said unless and until this entire pandemic plays out, because this is, like we said, unprecedented. Can't decide what happens unless we can't choose unless and until we've seen how everything plays out.
Right. Just for you to get a perspective for all of us to understand, we have 8 million deaths every year in India. We have had well over the number of tests which have been conducted are well over 20 lakhs, and we still have only a lakh plus infected. But the fact that 24/7 media, social media, blows it up 100 times more adds to the uncertain stage we are under. To the youngest in the panel, Disha, what do you think? What is the way your mind from Ankleshwar talks about? What is it that you want to share?
Okay, sir, I'm agree with my panelist that that education is affected. Then the schools are not reopening. Then I'm just bored at home. Nothing else.
Yeah, bored at home. So
Yes,
you
sir.
say that you want to go back to school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Let me go to Nikunj, who is from my city, Bangalore. Are you bored at home? Are you fed up of watching your parents, your mother, your father missing your girlfriend? Is it true?
Sir, I don't have a girlfriend as of now, but anyways.
Right. That's a quick defensive answer. Please go
Right,
ahead. Yeah.
So I certainly believe that I agree with my panelists, but I am highly optimistic about the fact that vaccines are coming up. A lot of work is being done in that area. And I feel that when there's a dark night, there's always a good morning. So I'm highly optimistic about that fact.
You're highly optimistic. So
Yes.
the way you were speaking, I thought a poet came out with some philosophy coming in. Good. Let's move to the south of India, Srinidhi. Yes, you have heard 5 of your panelists. What is your big picture? Do you agree with them? You disagree with them? What is your take, Srinidhi?
I definitely agree that these times have been very much trying and very uncertain. But I also agree with Nikunj in that I am very optimistic of how this will all play out. And I'm very much excited about this transition into online learning, because I do believe that online platforms have very large potential. And now that we're all being forced to experiment with the tools accessible to us, I think we might start incorporating more of it into traditional schooling systems, and education might change for the better.
Right. Traditional with online. I always call online, traditional, all mixed together, the Khichdi learning system. Yes, Yash from GEM Modern Academy, Dubai. Do you enjoy Khichdis? What is your take on it? What is your big picture?
Well, first off, yes, I do enjoy khichdi. But as for the big picture that I consider, I am not optimistic nor am I pessimistic about this. I treat it like just another day. And initially, I was quite apprehensive and confused. But I think I've settled into a rhythm that keeps me going every day. And I would say that it's been pretty good so far.
It's been pretty good so far. What is the good three things you have had till now over these last, at least in India, 60 days of lockdowns?
Well, the good things are that number one, I experiment with a new system of education or learning. It's been quite an adventure. We've had some very interesting things. Another thing is that I can bunk classes easier. And I think the third thing is it gives me more time with my family at home.
More time with the family. Bunking classes, I'll come back to it. You guys are much more creative in making sure bunking happens without our knowledge. Yeah, we go to Anush, who is from the Aditya Birla World Academy, Mumbai, one of the hotspots. What is your take, Anush? How do you perceive? Do you agree with your panelists or you disagree with them?
Firstly, I would like to wish everyone a very good evening and thank ABA, the ABEA team for having me on this panel. Now, to the question, I feel I kind of agree to my panelists to a certain extent, but I would definitely feel that the pre-COVID situation was way better. And I don't look through a perspective of like for me, because for me, I've been able to grow a lot during these 2 months. But for the country as a whole, for middle class people, for the less people, I feel that the pre-COVID situation was miles better. And I feel that the short-term ramifications which we are facing now will be very tough to deal with for everyone. So I would just hope and pray that we can find solutions fast to ensure that the society as a whole progresses and there's no hindrance to anyone as a whole.
No hindrance, things improve, short term will be difficult. Yeah, straightforward question, quick answer. Do you miss school?
Definitely, a lot.
Yes. What do you miss? What do you miss about school most?
My friends, interacting with teachers, playing football on the turf every day, just the full positive energy and environment about school. See, school is like a second home now. I've been going there for 12 years to Aditya Birla World Academy. And without it, it just doesn't feel right. The day is incomplete.
The day is incomplete without going to school. So, Anush likes to go to school. Yeah, you agree? Would you like to go to school or you don't miss school as much?
Well, I do miss school, but not as much as Anush has said. The one thing that I really miss about school is the environment. The environment of a school, the atmosphere in it, is one of education, is one of scholastic development. And I really miss that kind of environment. I don't usually find it at home.
You find it at home. If you are at school, you look forward to your holidays. Do din chutti mil gaya. Now you are away from school. You desperately miss school. You find some irony in it. Yes. Srinidhi in Coimbatore, do you miss school?
Yes, I do. And I think it's the same situation that you had described, that after a certain amount of break, we just want to go back to our routine, busy lives. And I really do miss the classroom environment. I love sitting in class discussions and asking questions. And yeah.
Yeah, you were somebody who was gung-ho on online. You are not able to do all these online?
Yeah, I do think that is a major drawback of online learning. It's much less interactive, even if the teacher does pause in between for questions. But I think for now, online learning is what's best for us to transition.
Yes, Nikunj, how often you are able to bunk classes? Do you miss school? And give me one idea how best to bunk so that we learn from you.
Sir, I'm afraid I don't bunk here. But the thing is that certainly I do miss school because of the fact that there's a difference between having online classes and the difference between home and office thing or home and school. And so the fact that we are speaking about school being better and at school we want to come home, it's like that. So other side of the grass is always green, I suppose. And that's what I think we're speaking about here.
Yeah, a follow-up question. Do your parents want you to desperately go to school? They are happy to you guys to be at home?
I think the faces again and again does get a little boring. But apart from that, they're fine with it.
Yeah, Nikunj, you have a future as a diplomat. कोई भी सवाल पूछे तो गुंगवा लेता है. Yes, Disha, you miss school. Your parents
Yes,
are
sir.
fed up with you at home.
No,
So
sir.
what do you miss about? What do you miss?
I miss about school. I like to interact with my friends and teachers in a physical space, not in the online platform. And I'm missing my dance room because I love to dance also.
Okay, good. I mean, this is a very specific post-millennial question to Anushka, Akshali, and Anshula. When you were told not to use your mobile, you used to go berserk. Mobile ke bina zindagi nahi hai. Now you're forced to be on the mobile almost every time. Akshali, what are your thoughts? What do you miss about school? And what are you happy about your mobile with? I mean, you are being online every time.
I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to using technologies in education because despite the fact that we're in front of our screens throughout the day because we're studying for the first half and then we just want to chill out and text our friends or watch a series, we're in front of the screen. But what one positive advantage is that we can use our mobile phones or our laptop to simultaneously search any queries that we may have because online education has a lot of limitations. You can't virtually interact with your teachers one-on-one every time you have a doubt. So it's easier for you to solve your queries. And what I miss about school, I definitely miss the physical setting, being able to talk to my teachers, and not simply about education, but teachers are a very integral part of shaping you as an individual. So to be able to seek their advice whenever I have a problem, to be able to sit in the canopy in our campus, talk to my friends. I do miss the physical setting of the school.
Physical, actually say it again. You miss your teachers. Suddenly you want to interact with your teachers. When the teacher gives you lots of homework and does not give you grades, you don't want to see her. Am I right?
No, sir, I'd still like to see my teachers even if
Okay,
they are.
good. Yes. Yeah, yes. Anushka, you are in a residential school. What is that is about school? In a residential school, it's a very different animal in terms of what a school is, the setting is. And Assam Valley, huge area, plenty of greenery. What do you miss?
So I miss, first of all, I miss the face-to-face classes that we have at school. And then, apologies, okay. And then I miss cracking hard jokes with my friends. I miss my teachers and my friends, which are an important part of my school life. And I miss eating with my housemates. We have to eat the meal in the central dining hall. So I miss eating with them, with us being together, where we would give a sort of account of how our day went each day. Then I miss waiting for school to be over so that I could rush to the tennis court and play in the scorching heat each afternoon. I especially miss for it to be break time already so that I could either, go and rush to the library or randomly stroll around the main school building. As you know, a big campus we have here at ABES, which is quite beautiful. So yes,
Yeah.
I do miss school a lot, but one thing I really feel that I miss is the feeling of human touch, because I feel that we are not designed to stay indoors and we thrive in engagement with others and the environment we live in. And I believe that school is an important aspect of the same in our
Yes.
journey to becoming adults.
Excellent. Very well said. The socio-emotional, cultural learning part of it. Yes. Anshula, you've heard you started off, now you've heard the others. What are your thoughts? Do you miss school? Second question, how much your parents want you to just, yaar se bhag jao, go to school? What are your thoughts?
So actually, I'm okay with lying off school for a few days, but also I do miss school. I do miss school because, of course, isolating myself from my friends and my teachers and only being allowed to interact with them virtually is not something that I choose over actually meeting them. So, and having an eye contact with someone and talking to them and versus like viewing them through tiny boxes in your phone and sending emojis or actually laughing at a joke. I think they don't have the same. And at the same time, I think I don't miss school so much because I don't have to move out of my house to, for my lessons which I learn at school. So this extended holiday is extremely beneficial for students, especially of like higher classes, because it doesn't just give us extra time for academic preparation, but also for other things which we have to put aside for our studies.
Oh, okay. A very more thoughtful answer. Now we'll go big time. I'll just pick up random persons. Online learning. Almost everyone, this side of the Indian Ocean or that side of the Atlantic Ocean, talks about online learning be the new normal, the future, the nirvana of the world. What do the post-millennials, the post-millennials, the X, Y, Z plus generation believe? Online learning, what is your take on it? I start off with the girl from the South, Srinidhi. What's your take on online learning? What do you think are its pluses and minuses?
So I think online learning is very useful because it makes education so much more adaptable. As a student, it's very reassuring that in a situation as difficult as these times, that a student can still attend schooling and get education. But I do recognize that online learning in no way completely gives the schooling experience, because school is more than just academics. We learn so many social skills, and all the extracurriculars and the sports that we participate in are a very important aspect of school.
Yes, Nikunj, you agree with her? You are in India's IT city. Is online learning the future? Do you think of a future wherein only online classes are there? You don't physically meet with teachers at all, at least at the schooling level. Is it good for you?
So I feel that online classes are a great tool, but we see very few cases as of now that tell that that they're working at ease. So online classes as of now not like they're working at ease. So I feel there are three main reasons for that. I feel that one, you need a group that has to be small if you're working as a group. Secondly, you need everyone to have the means to do so. And third, you need matured individuals to do so. And
matured individuals below the age of 18. That is a kind of oxymoron, isn't it? So, Nikunj, yeah, good way of saying it. Yeah,
I would say that so even in normal, it's really hard to discipline and ensure discipline at on online classes. But yeah, and I feel that in the coming times, they should work tandem. That's what I feel.
Yeah, blended learning. Yes, Anush.
Yeah.
What are you? Yeah, thank you, Nikunj. Taking on from what Nikunj is saying, online learning, your fellow panelists believe that online alone is not going to work. What is your take, and how does it look post-COVID? Anush.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that in the long term, online learning would not be there, because at the end of the day, education is it's about the experience, it's about the presence, the in-person presence with your friends, with your teachers. And online learning is not going to replace the in-person education. That's my view on that. However, it can replace stuff like, for example, we have council meetings. We could do that efficiently online, or it can change other things, but not education as a whole. I don't believe that's going to happen.
You don't believe education on a whole. Yeah. Now, there are four of you have talked, and I'll ask Anushka now. You are staying at home, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There is a question which comes up. Are your parents judging you much more when you are at home? Is it making life difficult for you at home?
No, sir. It is not difficult for me at home. My parents, actually, to be honest, I am a day scholar. So I do live in the school as well. I'm the teacher here. My father, he's not in school. No, I guess in no way are my parents judging me more. I mean, I feel that during this time, this period, we are getting more time to bond with our parents the same way they are getting time to, interact more with us. And I feel like this is beneficial to share some family quality time.
Yeah, so, family. So what is the one good thing about your father and mother you have learned over these last 60 days, Anushka?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's something new I've learned, but one thing I've thoroughly enjoyed is my mom's homemade cooking every day, because that's not something I enjoy in school, being in a residential school.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, okay, good.
Birla,
Anshula.
can we take some questions, please?
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm
Okay.
looking at this. I'm
Okay,
just looking at the questions and following.
Sure.
Yeah. Anshula, the question for you is, there is this debate. Will robots replace teachers? Online, everyone is saying, instead of Colonel Sekhar moderating, a robot sitting here and moderating this discussion, speaking out, will there be next question? That is all. Will it happen? What's your take?
So I don't think robots can ever replace our mentors or gurus, because there are certain things which cannot be taught through online. Like I was just thinking that like our character or behavioral, about our aspects, which can be judged only when we go to school and not through any online platform. Like the way we
Artificial
walk in
intelligence,
class.
augmented reality, virtual reality. I mean, if you are regularly in Google, you can check it out. If you walk across any of the ATMs, if you have taken money earlier, Google will persuade you if you want to take. The online systems are working hard at managing you better. You don't think robots can replace at least part of the job, Anshula?
So maybe some of the physical work, but not not the values and the other things that we learn from our
Not the
teachers.
values and other things we learn from them. Yes. Actually, the same question in a different manner. Online teachers. Firstly, would you like to be an online teacher?
I never imagined myself as a teacher, honestly. But if given the opportunity, I think it would be very beneficial at this point, because there are a lot of.
No, I want you long-term online teacher. Like just the question, the naughtiness of students, it's coming across. Why are students continually not being supportive of the teacher when the teacher herself is moving in from an offline scenario to online within 72 hours? Why are some of the students not empathetic to the state of the teacher? Akshali.
I believe a lot of students are not respectful enough of how much puts the teacher in these changing circumstances, because they themselves have to adapt themselves to this technology, to video conferencing as a means of imparting knowledge. So it is definitely a very atrocious fact that some students are not as respectful and as mindful of their teachers, of their gurus, who are trying their best to impart education. But I really won't be why they do this.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yash, your take from Dubai. What is your call? The way some of the students, this is a repeated question which is coming in, that students are not respectful of the huge effort teachers are putting in. There is a certain sense of what I call cultivated disdain. Do you agree, Yash?
I feel that, I mean, this could be quite biased considering I'm a student myself, but I feel that we are quite respectful of our teachers. In fact, the current dynamic that we have with our teachers treats them with much more than respect. It treats them with friendship almost. Personally, I have quite a good relationship with teachers, and I will not hesitate to ask them for help if I'm in a tough situation. Therefore, I believe that this is also a form of respect.
Oh, fair point. Yeah, I come to Anush. What is your expectation of a teacher online? What are the 5 things you expect from him or her when she's online with you? Anush Gandhi.
Okay, yeah. So the very first thing that I expect is the teacher's video to be on, because that's the one sign which shows that there's something engaging. And thankfully, that's been the case with all of my teachers. I also expect some kind of like a interaction with everyone if possible. In our classes are usually small, being capped at 20 people. So then it's easier to interact with all students and get them more engaged. And when you look at online classes or in general, I feel the expectations are the same. And there's nothing much which changes when it's online, other than the fact that they have to make a bit more of an effort to keep students engaged. And I'm not very sure on how they would do that.
Okay, good point. I go now to Srinidhi and then to Nikunj. Firstly, online, if you understand the teacher, she has to put in a lot more and a lot more into getting into it. So is it possible, Srinidhi, to be online 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock like an orthodox school? What are the changes you would like to have if the system present stop start? Say, for example, schools say open sometime in August, after a few days, you're closed again. What's the right balance, Srinidhi?
So I do believe it's very difficult to be online for normal schooling hours. But even my school has creatively come up with a mix of online and offline sessions where we only have 4 live sessions a day, and the rest of it is like a worksheet that the teacher will upload and that we will complete on our own. And although that we are spending a lot more time online, I think that it is something we can adapt to, because I already do depend on my gadgets a lot. So in this situation, I think I can do whatever I need to get the education.
Get the education. Yes, Nikunj. Online is the new mantra. Almost everyone believes online is going to transform education. India has got just about 20% of students having access. We have 320 million students, almost the population of the US. What are the pluses and minuses of online learning? What is the way forward?
I would say that the pluses would be the fact that you don't have to go to school anymore. You're able to learn at home. But the negatives, I suppose, would be the work, your unproductivity. I think that'll be the main point I'll be speaking about. And what I feel would be the better way forward would be that giving enough work. I think the work, as Srinidhi mentioned, the fact that you're getting worksheets to do, I think that will be the way forward. And if schools start, I feel that the situation is not going to get all right for a couple of months as of now. So I feel there should be an alternate way of going, alternate days of online classes and alternate days of face-to-face school.
Alternate online.
Yeah.
Disha, online classes, you have been there. What is the one thing you enjoy about online classes, and what's the one thing you hate about online classes?
I hate about the online classes is that I didn't.
You are not able to meet your teachers regularly?
Yes, sir, and didn't have a habit with the online teaching, and I want to meet my friends and interact with my friends and giving and having discussion with them.
Yeah, and of course your dance too. Yeah. The next is a question which is almost with everyone. I'll come through to it. Yes, we start first with Anshula. What are your fears? What are your anxieties? What are the mental and psychological challenges you are facing? Anshula Saha.
So this pandemic has surely stirred up some concerns about our health in the near future. Like there's a fear of not being able to continue with our curriculum. And as this is my final year at school, I also feel worried about examinations that has been scheduled for the year ahead of me. And it really gives me nightmares to think about the students like Anushcka who are left with half-done board examinations currently. So I also have a constant fear for my family because my father being in the medical profession is one at a high risk, with Asansol being in one of the orange zones as for now. And but majority of our students, we belong to Generation Z, and this generation is associated with technology and the term FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. And I think this lockdown has actually helped with my FOMO because anyways we are not like leaving our houses, and so there's no chance of missing out on anything.
Okay, so Anushka, do exams matter? Do we really require those next 4 papers? Or how have you transformed your FOMO into JOMO, fear of missing out, into joy of missing out?
Okay, so sir, before I answer this question, I would like to make it clear that I am fully in for giving these giving exams in particular, because I believe that they're important for self-assessment and are a part of education itself. But now, taking the current affairs into account, the momentum with which I was giving my remaining class 10 ICSE papers and studying for it has been broken with this pandemic. And with us being promoted to class 11 now, by conducting the examinations again, I feel as if the educators are back on their decision, because the study flow for class 10 exams, for the study flow with which we were studying for it, has already been disrupted. And coming out from that examination mode, which is a very dedicated phase, has changed the way I feel about this exam. And currently, I think I've adjusted pretty well to the class 11 study environment. And thus, I did expect to have been promoted to class 11 in one shot without giving my class 10 board papers again. So while I am disappointed with this to and fro decision making, if exams will be conducted, I will ultimately comply with the decision.
Right. What about online classes? You are now offline, online. Do you have a take on it? Being in a residential school, how will Assam Valley or any residential school work in an environment where students are inside the school? What do you think a new normal will be?
Yes, sir, as Srinidhi said, that a school is not only about focusing on the academic sphere of life, it's also about other extracurricular activities being imbibed in it as well. And I think that is why a lot of parents are sending their children to residential schools to instill other qualities in them as well. So online classes, I feel, it's a good decision to conduct online classes, because it's helping us students right now, as I believe that it will help us to cope up with our education when we do return to school. So, but a drawback I feel of online classes currently is that a lot of, our learning pace currently is quite slow comparatively to the classroom environment. And on observing after 3 weeks, I realized that, yes, it is taking more time for a student to comprehend what is being taught to him through a computer screen. And yes, we will take to adapt to this as well, not only us, but our teachers as well, because currently, yes, we are being faced with technical challenges as well, and it will take time for us to be comfortable. But good thing I feel that is coming out of these online classes is that a lot of videos are being uploaded online. So that means that if I have a doubt in class, if I've not understood something, I can just rewind and watch the video as many times as I want again. So these videos materials are adding up archive and creating a digital library for a school, which I believe will not only help our batch, but will help the upcoming batches as well.
Questions are coming thick and fast. I just follow up on the mental, physical anxiety. Yash, what are your fears? What are your worries? What are your thoughts about the present and post-COVID scenario for you as a student and for you as a citizen of the world?
Personally, I feel that as for physical condition, mine has initially worsened with the lockdown and the situation, but eventually I realized that this could be used to my strength, considering the fact that I don't have commute time between school and home. I can use this time to exercise, and that is exactly what I do nowadays. And but the more pressing issue has been mental well-being, with the fact that we are not able to meet other people face to face to cope with the current scenario, which is obviously quite a negative one. It has taken a toll mentally on many of my friends and occasionally myself. However, I think what keeps me going is just my natural way of thinking, which says treat every day like a single one, an isolated one, and don't think of the future too much.
Okay, good answer. I come to Srinidhi now. What are your expectations from your teachers, from your school, and from your parents as we go online, as you are stuck at home?
So with online learning starting, I do realize that students have to do more self-studying and self-learning and be more self-dependent. But the past 2 months, I was actually self-studying for an exam, and I realized how discouraging it can be not having someone supporting you in your studies. So I think that's my greatest expectation for my teachers and my parents. I just want them to be available to me if I have any doubts, if I need anything, and I would just appreciate their support.
Right. I now go around the panel. What is going right with your online classes? Just 2 points quickly. We start off with Anshula. 2 good things about online classes teachers are doing right.
I'd like to say I totally agree with Anushka when she said that this when they upload videos and lectures online, it creates like a digital library, and so I can learn at my own pace. And if I have some problem, I can go and rewatch the video as many times as I want. And also, I think submitting our assignments online makes it easier for the teachers to put a check on online like plagiarism and or other things like that.
Is it plagiarism is rampant left, right, and center? Cut, copy, paste has become the new normal today. That's my understanding, Anshula. Actually, 2 good things your teachers are doing to online learning. Something different from the other panelists.
I think one major thing is that teachers are available throughout now, because earlier it used to be that we go to school from, let's say, 9 to 3. And then after that, we don't have any means of communication with our teachers. But now our teachers are available until, let's say, 9 p.m. At night, and we can text them if we have a query. That's been a beneficial point about online education. And I would have to slightly disagree with what was said about plagiarism, because a lot of teachers run these assignments through plagiarism softwares. So there is not so much scope for plagiarizing your assignments. So I think that's one beneficial aspect too.
Yeah. The point is teachers are available till 9 o'clock. Actually, I agree, but the pressure on the teachers, the unsung heroes of this Corona war, they are pushed. They are burning candles both sides. Anushka, is it fair on the teacher, this online learning? They have to transform themselves in 72 hours to learn this whole thing, take lessons, do all this. Are we being fair on the teacher? Anushka.
So first of all, as all of us know, and as teachers themselves know, that yes, there is a reduction in efficiency of teaching. And that is because teachers have to put in more effort in online classes rather than offline classes. So yes, with it being on us students as well, it's being hard on these teachers because they are being restricted to their homes as well. And they themselves are going through this new process, this new concept of online learning. So yes, I do agree that it is hard on many teachers, especially with a lot of technical challenges with them are facing. But
yeah, my bigger question, I'll come back to you. You are the child of teachers. Nikunj, is the society being too hard on teachers? If you see the social media, if you go around, have close to 16 lakh schools. The elite schools, the CBSE, ICSE, about 35,000. Are we being fair on the teacher, Nikunj?
Honestly, I do not know, because I have not been so through with online classes. It won't be apt for me to speak about this, but I certainly feel they're unsung heroes because they're the ones who's pushing all these students at this time as well, and they should be commended for their work. That's what I feel.
Right. Anush, this is a question you coming from Bombay. You see lots of schools taken over for COVID purposes, etc. What about the schools which do not have access to Zoom, Boom, Google, etc., teachers not being able to? What will happen to the learning gap created for these students, the vast majority of Indian students? What is your solution for them?
So that's a good question. So there are many schools over here which the students won't have access to such internet and online classes. So what I feel is that the school has to contact students to ensure that there's no loss in momentum for work. So there's some sort of study which they do via their textbooks, etc. And that's going to be hard because self-study is something very hard. But I feel that's the first step which we have to take for people who don't have access to online classes. Inform them about what work to do and what is expected from them.
Okay, that's a fair point to answer. Yash, coming back to you, is it your understanding that the effort of the teacher is not recognized enough and we are much more prone to pointing out their mistakes in a wider societal spectrum? What can we do to redress this? And what is your take on the students, the inequality, the digital divide has spread far and wide? If the schooling continues like this online, millions and crores of students will not get the education they deserve. Do you agree?
To address the first point about teachers, I feel that yes, we truly do not recognize their achievements as much. Recently, actually, one of the students in my grade made a quite ambitious campaign in videos individually thanking the teachers. And I first wondered, well, what's the need for this? We do thank them after every class. But it then made me realize that, well, they're doing so much more than what we are doing. And this entire scenario has put quite the toll on them as well, which we don't acknowledge as much. So yes, I would agree that we are simply pointing out their flaws.
Flaws occasionally. That was quite diplomatic of you. It's more than occasional. Get back to Akshali. Screen time, mobile, security, offline, grooming, all kinds of things happen. And we have had several examples of students going overboard. What are the challenges when you are permanently online with the screen time, with your own distracted mind, and also the obvious security challenges? Akshali.
Yes, sir. I believe mentally there are a lot of challenges because to stay as focused, you're not invested in your lectures as you would be in the physical setting of your classroom. So that's one thing. If you talk about the mental challenges, it's not only your focus, but it's also being in front of the screen throughout makes you sort of estranged from real life interactions, from talking to people face. So I think that's one thing. People become more withdrawn. Children especially tend to become more withdrawn socially. And physically, there's definitely the prospect of causing some sort of eye troubles if you're in front of your screen throughout and for too long. So right. I think those are a few of the challenges.
Yes, Akshali, you have answered it. Anshula, the same question to you.
So I think I agree with my fellow panelists, and I would like to say that sometimes I I'm not bragging, but I tend to be a very serious student. But due to these online classes, and I keep getting notifications from my phone, and I tend to get my attention falters sometimes. And to be honest, as an introvert, it's not really difficult to hide behind a muted mic and a mischievous switched off video. So,
is it? Tell me how not to do it. I find that happening very often, Anshula. Put a photograph, beech mein aake ek aad sawal pucho, ghuma lo, chale jao.
That's exactly, that's what I'm talking about. And
yeah. Yeah. Anushka, the same question to you. You are the child of teachers. What are the challenges teachers face when online happens? And the kind of indiscipline we are, somebody logs in as Osama bin Laden, somebody logs in as Sunny Leone. These kind of things happen. So how do teachers tackle these challenges?
So as my mom is a teacher herself, due to these online classes taking place, she has to do double the amount of work she would actually do in school. So not only do you have to prepare beforehand for what you're going to do in class, but you have to think about whether the children will have materials available. Like my mother, she's an art teacher, so she has to think about whether these children will be able to gather all the materials and has to prepare her projects based on accessibility. So yes, I believe that teachers have to are currently having to work more harder, and yes, also you're talking about how it's being hard on them, as many people with different usernames, such as funny usernames, just come in. So a lot what my teachers are doing currently is that, well, they just make them leave the meeting immediately and either tell them to set their video on. So yes, there will always be delinquents such as this. There will always be students who might not be online classes seriously. But I believe that over time they will also become accustomed to these, to the way these online classes will be conducted, and will realize how important they are, because right now this is the only mean of education available.
Now we go to a question which has come up, Nikunj, and from there we start off. I put it us together. Post-COVID world, 2 days or 3 days of schooling, 3 days online. Is that the way you see schools coming forward? What is your vision for schooling post-COVID, or present continuous COVID and post-COVID? Nikunj.
I would say that certainly I feel that the alternative days thing is the way forward, because I feel that there is certainly going to be a second wave after this. It's not the first wave. But apart from that, I think the new normal would be, again, social distancing, which is the word we commonly hear now, and online classes working tandem with school classes, normal classes, and probably more holidays.
More holidays. Oh, okay. Yeah. Srinidhi, what is your perception of, you are the Education Minister of India. How would you fashion a school post-COVID for India for a 21st century learner?
Okay, so that would be a very large responsibility, firstly. But I would probably go with the half of the classes online and half of it in school. And also, I would make sure that there's importance given in schools of hygiene, and like many people take school lunch. So those aspects of social distancing and maintaining health while schools reopen. And I think the way out of COVID will be very gradual. And as Nikunj said, there will probably be a second wave. But I think if we adapt slowly, we can eventually get out of it.
Okay. Disha, the one thing you would like to do once you return to school physically, एक चीज जो आप करना चाहते हो, one thing.
Meeting my dance teacher, sir.
Meeting your dance teacher. Hopefully you will go and hug her. Yash, the one thing you will do once the school reopens.
Take a long stroll around the campus.
Okay. Anush, the one thing you will do when you go back to school.
Meet my teachers, just talk to them, see how they are, and play football with my friends on the turf.
Anushka, one-line answer.
I would just sit. So I love tennis. So I would sit. I've not been able to play for a long time, so I would love to just sit there all day on the court and
Akshali.
I'm actually giving my 12th right now, so I don't think I would have the possibility to go back to school. If I did, I would definitely talk to my school counselor about college admissions.
Okay. Anshula.
So I think I would just stand in front of my class and tell everybody how much I miss them and how I'm having more than 3 people in one room, and give them a hug from distance.
Nikunj.
I'm probably not going back to school again because I'm getting but if I go back to school, I'll probably get my graduation, because that hasn't happened yet.
Srinidhi.
Yeah, like Anshula said, she would stand outside her classroom. I would go and sit inside the classroom for a couple of hours and just digest the environment, because I know that's something to be grateful for now.
Yeah, you're coming closer to the 6 o'clock deadline. Any questions which, Pradipta sir, you want me to take on before I ask for closing comments.
No, I don't think so. I don't know whether there are any questions from
I've tried to
Facebook.
Facebook. Is anyone there? Otherwise, I'll go for closing comments.
Lata, if you could kindly check out on Facebook and let me know. Oh, nothing as yet. She has already mentioned over there.
Okay. So closing comments as we wind up this fantastic discussion. What is it? Yeah, yes?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, pucho.
Sir, the learning for the future school is in online classes are done in the urban areas and mini urban areas. So what about the rural areas?
Disha, you are speaking with a maturity far beyond your age. I have no answer to your question as of now. I will be candid, मैंने कान पकड़ लिया है. Now, with that, तुमसे सवाल नहीं पूछूंगा, तुम उल्टा मुझसे सवाल पूछ रही हो यार, मेरी बैंड बजेगी. We'll go now, one boy, one girl, to gender neutral. I'll start off first with the Aditya Birla student. Anush, your big picture, closing thoughts. What has gone on? What is going on now? How do you look at your future and the nation's future?
Yeah. So I would like to talk about something which wasn't touched up much in this session, is about what education will be for applicants in 2021 and who are going to university now.
Yeah.
So I think one challenge that we all face, and which I'm facing too, is there's a lot of uncertainty, one in the standardized testing, and also on how so many people, many of my peers are scared on how they're going to build their resume. They had planned summer internships, research projects. So what's going to happen about that? So there's a lot of tension over there. And I just feel that one thing which everyone has to do is take this negative into a positive and do something different at home. Do something which you like, explore other options, do something which you will be able to do. And more than looking at how I can build my resume, just do what you like, do what's fun, and then base your resume on that. So I think that's one thing which people were addressing in the questions, and I would like to say that.
Good answer. Yash, your take on this? I will have one more round, but we'll conclude around here. Yash, your take on the pre, present, post-COVID, and what is your perception of education today and beyond?
I would just like to say that this entire scenario, and this is a message to teachers who are listening in and to parents who are quite apprehensive of the scenario, this situation has told us that the state of education should never be considered constant. The way that we'd been teaching in schools, notebooks and papers and desks had worked for a long time and everyone thought it was excellent. But the fact that this necessity bred a new invention of online learning has taught us that education is always evolving.
Great. Yeah, good answer. Srinidhi, your final thoughts.
I would like to say that this entire lockdown, this entire COVID experience has been a reflection probably for all of us. We've realized that we took the simplest freedom of going out as granted. And I think that in this time when we're all physically separated, that we should keep in touch and keep communicating so that we get that sense of, or we don't lose that sense of community while we're all at our homes.
Yeah. Nikunj, your thoughts?
I would say that through all this COVID scene and whatever has happened, I would say that it's not necessary to have had new skills, or being able to get back to school or whatever it may be. I would say that staying sane would be the best way to go forward. I think that would...
Say it again, staying sane. That makes a lot of sense. Common sense is at short supply. Well spoken. Yeah, now, Akshali.
I would have to completely agree with Yash when he says that us hadn't been so resilient in the past, but now that understood that we can change, we need to retrospect and just analyze where we stand in terms of the education that we're imparting, because these were uncertain times. And simultaneously to not practice social distancing, but to practice physical distancing. So we're all together. because we are in this together. And one last thing would be, no, I'm so sorry, go ahead.
Good, you have taken away my closing statement. Yes, Anushka.
Yes, sir. So right now schools are shutting down have shut down because of this COVID-19 pandemic. And as I agree with, as a lot of us have already said, that they expect a second wave to take place. So that means that yes, there will still be schools in red zones which will suffer through, be affected by this pandemic, and will have to continue with a blended learning as format. So right now, educators are coming up with new ways through online mediums and other distant learning techniques. So, but what I believe is that we as students have to prepare for a hybrid form of education, both online and offline. And I believe that to make this online education more purposeful and closer, we need to develop online specific educational content and introduce technology such as virtual and augmented reality, which will give a child as close to a real life experience as possible just sitting from home. So, okay.
Yeah, thanks. Anshula, your closing comments.
So I think this whole situation has taught us only one thing, that change can be sudden, and we should be prepared for sort of a change, because in May last year, in 2019, we could not have imagined that this was going to take place just like 365 days later. So that's all. Coronavirus has proved.
Okay, quick, this is the last. All of you, one sentence. One dream you have for the country. One dream you have. I want to enter on a positive, optimistic note. One dream you have for the country. I start with Akshali.
My dream definitely is for us to be more optimistic in this situation, because we need to
be more specific. Be more specific. I'll get back to you. Yash. One dream you have, one thought, something which you want to make it a reality.
I dream that the new system of education that we have discussed here becomes a universal thing for everyone to be adopted across the country.
Good. Anush.
I believe that my dream is to ensure there's more equal opportunity for everyone during these times.
More equal opportunity. Srinidhi.
Yes, my dream is also to bridge the digital divide between students and their education.
Disha, your dream, one thing you want to do when you grow older for the country. Sochte rehna, I'll get back to you. Akshali.
I think gratitude. My dream is for everyone to be more grateful for
more
what they
gracious,
have as
more gratitude. Great. Nikunj.
Like I said earlier, I'd like to keep everything sane.
Everything sane, yeah, sticking to that. Anushka.
For the country to be fear-free, corona-free, and to survive through all this as a race, community, and as an individual.
Anshula.
So as I said, that coronavirus has brought all of us together, and I believe even after this disease has been exterminated, we stay together like this, so that we appreciate togetherness.
Disha, you agree with all the others?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. It has been fascinating for me to listen to 8 outstanding youngsters. I believe the nation and the world is in safe hands. Nothing more to say, sir. Back to you. Pradipta, thank you to the CEO and team ABEA. It's been a great opportunity. I learned a lot more. Back to you, sir.
So on behalf of the Aditya Birla Education Academy, I would like to thank each one of you. It's been wonderful to get insight from 8 different cities. And I'm so excited and hopeful about the future. I mean, how confident and well-spoken and articulated each one of you have been. And like Sir said, I think the country is in safe hands. Anush, I'd like to thank you for your empathy for the country and also for the practical tips to make online sessions engaging. Nikunj, thank you for articulating so well the pros and cons of attending schools remotely. Anushka, I love those medals in the background. And thank you for talking about connecting with the community and your friends over the day. And yes, we all love Mummy Kya Khana. Srinidhi, online training is adapted, and yes, it is incomplete. Thank you for bringing out the importance of family. Thank you for highlighting the mental health issues. And thank you for reminding us to take each day as it comes. Disha, the youngest, for your confidence. Hope you can go back to your dance room soon. Akshali, thank you for pointing out that teachers are an integral part of our life. This will really motivate the teachers. So I'm very worried about teachers now working till 9 p.m. Anshula, thank you for your positive response to the situation, and glad to know that robots won't be replacing any of us anytime soon. I can safely conclude that all the stakeholders, the students, the teachers, support staff, and I'm sure even the parents are all missing school. Thank you for calling the teachers the unsung heroes. And of course, this session would not even be remotely engaging had we not had Colonel Sekhar moderating this. Sir, I'm sure that you're a millennium at heart. Only you know the forms of FOMO and JOMO and all of that. So thank you so much for doing this for us, sir. I really enjoyed the session, and I hope you enjoyed too. Please enjoy the weekend till we meet again. Stay safe, but stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Take care.